I wanted to see whether I could make silkworm pupae miso paste using canned silkworm pupae. I prepared equal parts soybeans and silkworm pupae by pressure cooking them with a little water and then drained and cooled them off. I measured the weight of the cooked soybeans and silkworms and calculated 20% of its weight in rice koji, which I rehydrated with a little water and then I just blended smooth. And then 10% salt, which I added to my soybeans and silkworms and started mashing to get as smooth as possible. I added my rehydrated and blended koji into the miso paste and then blended it a little bit more with a stick blender. Then I used my hands to ball up portions of the miso paste and press them down into a glass jar, and doing it this way will help reduce the amount of air pockets in the miso paste. Now once all my miso paste was in the jar, I wiped down the sides and then sprinkled some sea salt over the top, followed by some baking paper and a bag of salt to weigh things down. So I made this in January when it was quite cold, so out of impatience I actually put this in my heating chamber for a couple of weeks to hopefully speed up the process. I then took it out and just let it sit at room temperature for a few more months, and now this is 4 months old. I think it's time to try this. Peeling away the baking paper revealed a very dark crust, but no mold or any signs of spoilage, and it smells sorta like soy sauce. Scraping away that top layer reveals the actual color of the miso paste, which is more akin to dark miso, so I removed the miso from the jar and I gave it a taste. And it's definitely umami and savory. It almost tastes like soy sauce with a slight vegetalness and the flavor of silkworms that is hard to explain if you haven't been a victim to it. Although what's not very pleasant is what feels like a popcorn shell in between your teeth, except it's the skin of a silkworm pupae. Now, would I do this again? No. But would I recommend this? Also, no.